Welcome to What's Trending with Tire Review. I'm Maddie Weiner, and I'm joined today by Frank Kneller, CEO of GB Auto Service, a portfolio company of Greenbriar Equity Group. Frank, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
Thank you. So I know GB Auto Service has acquired some larger independent tire dealers in recent years. Some that come to mind include Evans Tire with 18 locations in California, and Lamb's Tire and Auto with also 18 locations in Austin, Texas. And this year, the company also acquired Sun Devil Auto Services 32 locations in the Southwest. So that's quite a large acquisition. And to start out, I wanted to ask you about that. What made Sun Devil Auto an attractive acquisition for GB Auto Service?
Well, I think they spent decades building a tremendous business in the Southwest. It's a business that we had looked at, we had been attracted to for years, and prior to even GB Auto, right? It's in my mind a jewel that we were able to bring into the GB Auto family. Part of it, obviously the business practices were attractive. The growth they have, very similar plans to what GB Auto has. They have greenfields that one just opened right after we acquired, actually, here in Phoenix, and we've got many more planned. Same thing at GB Autos. So, and for us, a lot of it is culture, right? Does it fit into the culture of GB Auto? Because we all know, and this is something that we deal with all the time when we go out and we bring companies into the GB Auto family, is, will it fit? And of course, a lot of times the employees have heard, not the best things about acquisitions, right? And so we saw a very strong fit there, and we're seeing it. Obviously you always believe it's going to happen, but the first month, like I said, they opened up a new greenfield. They did very well. They actually did, first month with us was July, and they did better than they did in June, which is more than we can ask, right? Because you think about it, it is a big change. It was a family-owned business for many decades, and now we come along. But part of what we explain to everybody is that there's truly, while we say GB Auto, there's no business name GB Auto. So it's not like we're coming in and saying this is the way we do it. We try to come in and look at the business, and obviously we want to improve it by bringing additional scale to the business. A little bit, as I always talk about, is that you won't see any change in the brand. So the employees and our guests that come to the store see, Sun Devil Auto in Phoenix, and Sun in Vegas, and Sun in Austin. What we work on is making, keeping what's important to our guests and our employees the same, and then work on the plumbing of the business. So all the things, the POS, the point of sale, accounting, benefits, 401k, will be consistent, but will be a local brand that people trust, and they trust Sun Devil and Sun, and they will continue to do so. And I think in this current climate, with everything going on, that's what people are looking for, is support the local businesses.
Yeah, for sure. I know in this area where I am, that's definitely the case. So when you all acquire a new company, it's changing the operations, not necessarily the name or like the look, the brand. It's
No.
How can we streamline to make operations better?
Right, and bringing best practices from all the different brands. That's one of the things that we do, and we look at what's going well, and we do share ideas, best practices. We do that starting with the people that are running the business, and that's where we had great success. We've just tapped into a pool of unmatched talent, in my in my opinion, a lot of times, it's the person that's running the business. The owner decides they want to sell, but their number two person is still interested, and they come on. We give them opportunity to be part of the business, and it's been very successful. And we have people that running our individual businesses that have 30, 20 years of experience. Some of it on the corporate side, some of it all entrepreneurial. So it makes for a very energetic and robust group of leaders.
Very interesting. Great. Okay. So when looking at a company, I know you had talked about Sun Devil Auto was a very attractive dealership for GB Auto. When you're looking at a company for acquisition, an independent tire and auto business, what do you all look for in that business?
Well, obviously a large market, and growth in that market from potential for consumers. Some of it is that what we have is a great network within GB Auto. With the people that are coming on board, have lots of contacts within the industry, but we also on Greenbriar side, we have people that have been working in the industry, 30 years that have many contacts. So we've got a network that allows us to really reach out and talk to people about their business. And I do think we offer a compelling, alternative to potentially selling their business to a larger organization that will not, maintain the brand or the culture of the business. We're very focused on making sure that we transition well and keep the employees in the business. But we look at a lot of different things when we look at a business. We've talked a little bit about making sure the culture is there. What are the opportunities, for us to enhance that business? Like I said, one of the things is, bringing the tires into a business didn't really have it, which is an opportunity in my mind, really, to keep the customer at that store versus, well, they come here for service and they go somewhere else for tires. We want to be the place that they come for everything. So, what we're looking for too, without sharing too much of the secret sauce, because I think we've started to develop a pretty good process. And, obviously being part of Greenbriar, we have people that use data to a great extent, but it does come down to the fundamentals of the business. One of the things that we also look for is we're not just looking for 15 or 18 stores. Especially in the Dallas market, we're getting single locations, 2 locations, and I think maybe you're going to see more of that after people have worked their way through this stressful period. There's opportunities for us in the markets we're already in to bring on individual stores or 2 stores. We wouldn't do that if we didn't have any presence, but in the markets we're in, we're happy to look at owner operators that feel like it's time to exit and don't have a succession plan.
We talked about this a little bit earlier, but I wanted to know, you mentioned shop level changes in terms of maybe processes that the other stores under GB Auto have in place to just kind of make things uniform across your different brands. So once these brands are kind of integrated into the GB Auto way of doing things and their processes and procedures, what are some of the performance goals for GB Auto's existing stores? Same
store growth, right? We feel, and you see a little bit of that out in the marketplace. Acquisitive companies lose the focus on what's truly important. Is that if you're successful in this business, what we need to see is that you're building your customer base. You get that each you're always growing over your previous sales. Obviously, right now is a challenging time to see that, but prior to COVID, we were seeing that consistently. So really, we were doing well, not only acquiring new brands, but also growing the stores that we had. And that's really a mantra that we focus on, and we reward our employees for doing that. So that's our focus of that same store growth. We measure it every day. We have one of the things that we're working on, and one of the things that I think improves too as we bring everybody on, it's very consistent, is reporting. And we provide that to everybody, because and we also try to work with the teams to keep some of their current reporting because they're used to that, but also we have overarching reporting that is the same for every brand.
So you mentioned the coronavirus, and I'm sure bringing on sort of a new brand during this time and switching POS systems and everything, that sounds just kind of crazy and a lot. But how has the coronavirus pandemic impacted the company's strategy and just impacted the company as a whole? I know it's different effects for different companies in the tire industry.
Well, obviously, I mentioned that to you. We had just done an acquisition in Houston. We were all deployed to that. So we had a lot of employees that were from our Lambs team were down in Houston. So you can think about that. You've got people moving around. But our first and foremost, our focus was safety of our employees. And then second, obviously, that followed along with that, and just as important, was the safety of our guests. I think we've done very well with that. The team responded well. It was a very stressful period. We worked through that. We had a protocol to make sure that everybody stayed safe. So once that we focused that, we were fairly amazed, but not surprised that our team rallied, and actually we did the things that it had to do to react. And actually, we maintained our business performance through adapting. And like I said, amazing, but not surprising, because these groups of stores are much, in my opinion, much more entrepreneurial, and understand that each one is its business unit and it has to operate essential service, right? Or we were providing services for people to make sure they go to work. I think what it did do is really bring all the different brands together. We had a daily call when it first started, 7 days a week, with all the brand leaders and our partners at Greenbriar, and we worked through it.
The company has achieved 450% growth over the past 3 years. So since becoming the company's CEO, what's been its growth strategy to achieve this? And second part of that question, what's the company's growth strategy for the future?
Well, Greenbriar and I, and what attracted me to this opportunity, obviously, is just how robust the do-it-for-me industry is, right, in automotive. And it's really what I've been involved in my whole career, is the shift from do-it-yourself to do-it-for-me. And I just, as cars become more and more complicated, I see that, it's going to continue. So I think, we talked about it too with vehicle average age increasing all the time. We'll see more and more demand, right? And, an industry that has grown but fragmented. There's opportunities out there. And I think, we said it before, that we offer a different, exit strategy for a lot of these owners. And you really, the industry is very secular. It's resistant to downturns. You know, if we see a downturn, which I hope we don't, people pull back. They focus on their primary residence. They focus on maintaining their vehicles, which is good for us. You know, the other part of it is that you know, what I mentioned before too is that the leadership in the business. You know, we've tapped into what I think is unmatched talent, pool of talent, and what we're bringing to them is really a lot more scale, a lot more benefits they can work with. And these are, you know, individuals that entrepreneurial in nature and like to win. And we're going to give them the platform to do that. What's happened is people have, you know, slowed down a little bit during COVID, but hopefully they'll see there's an opportunity. They see what we've done with Sun, and will be additional acquisitions that will consummate here in the back end of the year. So hopefully they say, hey, look, I want to come out and talk to GB Auto. It never hurts to talk, right?
What made Tape Boys an attractive acquisition for GB Auto?
I think the incredible alignment in culture, very similar to what we've built so far. The number 2 independent tire chain in Oklahoma, and just a incredible commitment to satisfying the customer. They're in very, you know, relatively small markets, except for Tulsa, but all the other stores are in small markets, and they have to take care of the customer, and they do. They go beyond it.
So how many locations with the Tape Boys acquisition does this give GB Auto, you know, under the GB Auto belt, to say?
We like to say the family. There's now 174 stores. We started off with 30 back in December of 2017, so some incredible growth. 10 different brands, 5 different states.
I also wanted to ask you, you know, as the coronavirus pandemic continues, we've seen a lot of M&A activity recently in the tire industry. I wanted to get your take on how you think, especially in, you know, tire retail, how the M&A environment will play out in the tire industry for, you know, the rest of the year.
Well, obviously, a very large one out there with Les Schwab. So leading the way, and we've been active with Sun and now Tape Boys. I think you're going to continue to see it occur, maybe even pick up. We're anxious to talk to other potential companies that are looking to you know, a solution to maybe they don't have a succession plan, or maybe to your point, you know, the whole COVID situation, you know, has been enough for them, and it's time to make that decision. But I think it's an indication of the strength of our industry, the resilience our industry has against these downturns. Overall, I hear, you know, tire volumes are going up, you know, from friends in the distribution business, and obviously our own numbers. People still driving. You know, miles driven has recovered. Maybe people aren't driving to work, but they're now driving because they're not taking plane rides and they're not taking mass transportation. So, you know, I think it's going to continue.